Hi everyone, welcome to English Achieve. Today's video is not loud. It does not shout. It does not push you. Instead, it speaks softly to the tired part of you that is trying too hard to hold everything together. Today's video is called Don't Force Anything. If you have been rushing, forcing, chasing, or pressuring yourself to become someone faster, stronger, or better, this message is for you. Stay with me till the end, because by the time this video finishes, you may finally feel permission to breathe again. Let me start with something interesting and honest. Many people think success comes from force. They believe that if they push harder, suffer more, and never stop, life will finally reward them. But look closely at nature. A flower does not force itself to bloom. The sun does not force itself to rise. Rivers do not force their way, they flow. Yet everything still happens at the right time. So why are we the only ones trying to force our lives? This lesson is not about quitting. It is not about being lazy. It is about understanding timing, energy, and inner alignment. It is about learning when to act and when to step back. In this story-style lesson, I will share simple truths in clear English so even beginners can understand deeply. Take your time. Listen slowly. Let the words settle. Rule 1. Forcing comes from fear, not strength. Most people do not force things because they are strong. They force things because they are afraid. Fear hides behind busy schedules, tired faces, and endless effort. Fear says, if you stop, you will fall behind. Fear says, if you rest, others will pass you. Fear says, if you don't hurry, you will lose everything. Slowly, without realizing it, fear turns life into a race. And the saddest part is this: you never agreed to run this race. Yet you wake up every day exhausted, chasing something you're not even sure you want. When fear is in control, everything feels urgent. You rush conversations. You rush decisions. You rush growth. You feel guilty when you slow down and anxious when you rest. You start measuring your life with deadlines instead of meaning. But real strength does not come from panic. Real strength does not shout or rush. Real strength is calm. It moves with awareness, not pressure. When you force a conversation, it feels heavy. You can feel the tension in your words. You say things you don't fully mean, just to be accepted or understood. When you force a relationship, it feels painful. You give more than you receive. You explain yourself again and again, hoping one day the other person will finally choose you. And when you force success, it feels empty. Even if you reach the goal, there is no joy. Only relief that the struggle is over. You arrive at the destination, but you feel lost inside. Strength is quiet. Strength listens. Strength knows when to move and when to pause. A strong person does not need to prove anything every moment. They do not chase approval or beg for attention. They trust their direction. They understand that what is truly meant for them will not require constant suffering. If something is aligned with you, it may challenge you, but it will not destroy your peace. Growth can be uncomfortable, but it should not feel like self-betrayal. The right path may demand effort, discipline, and patience, but it will still allow you to breathe. It will not make you hate your life. It will not drain your soul every single day. Forcing always costs peace. And peace is not a luxury. It is a necessity. When you lose peace, you lose clarity. When you lose clarity, you make poor decisions. You stay where you are not valued. You chase what no longer excites you. You confuse stress with ambition and exhaustion with progress. Fear tells you to push harder. Wisdom tells you to slow down and listen. Fear says, do more. Wisdom asks, why? When you stop forcing, you begin to hear your inner voice again. You realize that not every closed door is a failure. Some doors are protecting you. Some delays are preparing you. True strength knows this simple truth. You do not need to fight life all the time. You are allowed to move with trust instead of tension. You are allowed to grow without punishment. And you are allowed to choose peace over pressure. When you stop forcing, you don't become weak. You become aligned. And alignment is where real power begins. Rule 2. Life moves better when you stop pushing it. Think about a door. When a door is locked, pushing harder will not open it. You can push with all your strength. You can hurt your hands. You can waste your energy. But the door will still remain closed. The problem is not your effort. The problem is the timing or the direction. Life works in the same quiet way. When something is not opening for you, it does not always mean you are weak or incapable. Sometimes it simply means this is not the right moment. And sometimes it means this door was never meant for you at all. Many people spend years pushing the same door. They change their plans. They try new methods. They cry. They beg. They blame themselves. They think if they just try a little harder, life will finally say yes. But instead of opening, the door becomes heavier. Slowly, this effort turns into exhaustion. You wake up tired, sleep tired, and live tired. Not because you are lazy, but because you are fighting something that does not want to move. Life does not always reward force. It often responds to awareness. When you keep pushing a closed door, you miss the quiet signs around you. You miss the small opportunities waiting on the side. You miss the feeling inside that says, "This is costing me too much." But when you stop pushing, something strange happens. Silence appears, and in that silence, clarity begins to speak. Stopping does not mean giving up. It means stepping back. It means asking honest questions. Why am I pushing this so hard? What am I afraid of losing? What part of me is begging for this door to open? These questions are not signs of weakness. They are signs of maturity. When you stop forcing, you start noticing signs. You notice how some things feel heavy, while others feel natural. You notice how certain paths drain you, while others quietly energize you. You start hearing your inner voice again, the voice that was always there, but was drowned out by noise, pressure, and fear. There is wisdom in surrender. Surrender is not defeat. It is intelligence. It is knowing when effort is useful and when it is harmful. Imagine a river. It does not fight the rocks. It flows around them, and because of that, it reaches the ocean. Life flows better when you stop trying to control every turn. Sometimes life is not saying no. It is saying, not this way. Sometimes the closed door is protection. It is saving you from a place that would slowly break you. And sometimes another door is already open, but you are too busy forcing the wrong one to see it. Trust this. What is truly meant for you will not require you to destroy yourself. It may ask for patience. It may ask for courage, but it will not ask you to beg, bleed, and break just to be allowed in. When you stop pushing, you begin to move with life instead of against it. You stop fighting the current and start floating with awareness. And in that flow, things begin to happen naturally. Not because you forced them, but because you finally listened. Life moves better when you stop pushing it. Sometimes the smartest move is not forward. Sometimes the smartest move is back, so you can see the bigger picture clearly. Rule 3. Rest is not weakness. One of the biggest lies we are taught is that rest is laziness. From a young age, we hear messages like, work harder, don't stop, sleep later, and push through the pain. Slowly, we begin to believe that stopping means losing and slowing down means failure. We start feeling guilty when we rest. We feel uncomfortable doing nothing. But this belief is not truth. Rest is not quitting. Rest is refueling. It is how strength is rebuilt, not how it is lost. When you force yourself to work without rest, your mind becomes tired. Thoughts become heavy and unclear. Simple decisions feel difficult. Small problems feel big. Your heart becomes bitter. You start feeling angry for no clear reason. You lose patience with people. And slowly, without noticing, your dreams begin to feel like burdens. What once excited you now feels exhausting. Not because the dream is wrong, but because you are empty. A tired mind cannot think clearly. A tired heart cannot feel joy. And a tired soul cannot grow. Yet many people continue pushing, believing that pain is proof of progress. They ignore the signs. They ignore the headaches, the stress, the emotional numbness. They tell themselves, just a little more. But a little more without rest slowly turns into burnout. When you allow yourself to rest, something powerful happens. Clarity returns. You start seeing things more clearly. You remember why you started. Your emotions become balanced again. Motivation comes back naturally, without force. You stop chasing energy, and energy starts coming to you. Ideas flow, focus improves. Even difficult tasks feel lighter, not because they are easier, but because you are stronger inside. Rest does not mean doing nothing forever. It means knowing when to pause. It means respecting your limits. Think about nature. After winter, spring comes. After night, morning comes. Nothing in nature works without cycles. Only humans try to live without pause, without rest, without silence, and then wonder why they feel broken. Even machines break without rest. A phone needs charging. A car needs fuel. A computer needs to shut down sometimes. These are not signs of weakness. They are signs of design. So why do you expect your soul to survive without rest? Why do you demand more from yourself than from any machine? Rest is an act of self-respect. It is saying, I matter. It is saying, my health is important. When you rest, you are not falling behind. You are preparing to move forward with more strength and wisdom. Some of your greatest breakthroughs will not come when you are pushing harder. They will come when you are quiet, when you are still, when you finally allow yourself to breathe. Rest creates space, and in that space, healing begins. Creativity returns. Confidence rebuilds. Remember this, you are not lazy for resting. You are human. You are not weak for slowing down. You are wise. Rest does not take away from your success. It protects it. So the next time you feel guilty for resting, remind yourself of this truth. Rest is not weakness. Rest is strength, practiced quietly. And those who understand this do not burn out. They rise stronger, clearer, and more balanced than before. Rule 4. The right things feel calm, not confusing. When something is right for you, it may still be difficult, but it will feel clear. There will be challenges, effort, and learning, but inside you will feel steady. Your mind will not be full of constant doubt. Your heart will not feel heavy every day. But when something is wrong for you, the feeling is different. It feels confusing. It feels draining. No matter how hard you try, you never feel settled. This confusion is often the first sign that you are forcing something that does not belong to you. Forcing usually begins when we ignore our inner signals. Deep inside, we already know something is not right. But we stay. We push. We convince ourselves that suffering is normal and that pain means progress. We tell ourselves to be patient, to be strong, to endure more. Slowly, we stop listening to our feelings and start obeying fear instead. You stay where you are not valued. You give your time, energy, and care, but you are taken for granted. You feel invisible, yet you keep trying harder, hoping one day things will change. You chase people who do not choose you. You explain yourself again and again. You lower your standards just to keep the connection alive. And you work for goals that no longer excite you. What once felt meaningful now feels empty, but you continue because you are afraid to stop. And you call all of this discipline. But deep inside, your heart feels tired. Your spirit feels worn down. This is not healthy discipline. This is self-abandonment. Listen carefully. Discipline without alignment becomes self-punishment. True discipline supports your growth. It strengthens you. It helps you become better without breaking you. But when discipline is disconnected from your values and inner truth, it turns cruel. You begin to punish yourself for not being happy. You push yourself to stay in places that shrink you. You ignore your need for peace. The right path may challenge you, but it will not constantly make you feel small. It will not make you question your worth every day. It will not require you to erase yourself to survive. On the right path, even difficult days feel meaningful. You feel tired, but not empty. You feel stretched, but not lost. Calm is a powerful signal. Calm does not mean easy. Calm means aligned. When something is meant for you, there is a quiet confidence beneath the effort. You may feel nervous, but you also feel grounded. You may feel uncertain, but you do not feel broken. Confusion, on the other hand, drains your energy. It keeps you stuck in overthinking. It makes simple decisions feel impossible. If something constantly leaves you anxious, doubtful, and exhausted, it is asking you to pause and reflect. You do not need to force yourself to stay where you are not growing. You do not need to chase what does not choose you. You do not need to suffer in the name of discipline. You are allowed to choose clarity over chaos. When you choose what feels calm, you choose respect for yourself. You choose peace. And from peace, real growth begins. Rule 5. Let go does not mean lose. Many people hold on because they believe letting go means losing. Losing the person. Losing the dream. Losing the effort they already gave. They tell themselves, I've come too far to stop now. So they hold tighter, even when it hurts, even when it drains them, even when their heart is quietly asking for rest. But the truth is this: sometimes letting go is not losing. Sometimes letting go is winning. You are not losing the thing. You are losing the struggle. Holding on can feel brave, but sometimes it is fear wearing a brave face. Fear of starting again. Fear of being alone. Fear of admitting that something no longer fits. So you stay. You wait. You hope. You keep forcing what refuses to flow. And slowly, holding on becomes heavier than letting go ever would have been. When you stop forcing a relationship, you gain self-respect. You stop chasing attention. You stop explaining your worth. You stop shrinking yourself to be loved. You realize that love should not feel like a constant test. It should not make you feel anxious, invisible, or unsure of your place. Letting go of the wrong connection creates space for healthier ones, starting with the relationship you have with yourself. When you stop forcing approval, you gain freedom. You no longer live to impress. You no longer shape your life around other people's expectations. You stop asking, will they like this? And start asking, is this right for me? Approval is addictive, but it is also exhausting. The moment you let it go, your shoulders feel lighter. Your choices become clearer. You finally begin to live your own life instead of performing it. When you stop forcing timing, you gain peace. You stop comparing your journey to others. You stop rushing your healing. You stop punishing yourself for not being where you think you should be. You understand that growth has its own rhythm. Some lessons take time. Some doors open later for a reason. Trusting timing does not slow you down. It protects you from unnecessary pain. Letting go is not giving up on life. It is giving up on what is hurting you. It is choosing peace over pressure. It is choosing honesty over fear. Letting go says, I respect myself enough to stop fighting what no longer serves me. At first, letting go feels uncomfortable. There is silence. There is uncertainty. There is space you are not used to. But in that space, something beautiful happens. You begin to breathe again. You begin to hear your own thoughts. You begin to feel lighter, even if you are not sure what comes next. Letting go is not the end. It is the beginning of something lighter. It is the moment you stop carrying weight that was never yours to hold forever. It is the moment you choose yourself, quietly and bravely. You do not lose yourself by letting go. You find yourself, and sometimes, that is the greatest win of all. Rule 6. Growth happens in silence. Not all growth is visible. Not all progress is loud. Some of the most important changes happen quietly, far away from attention and applause. They happen inside you, where no one is watching. They happen while you rest, while you wait, while you heal. In a world that celebrates noise and speed, silent growth is often misunderstood. But it is the kind of growth that lasts. Many people believe that if they cannot see results, nothing is happening. So they rush, they push, they force action after action, afraid of slowing down. They believe that constant movement means progress. But this belief creates exhaustion, not growth. When you force constant action, you miss the quiet work happening beneath the surface. You think you are falling behind, when in truth, you are being prepared. Think about a tree. Before it rises tall and strong, it grows roots underground. No one claps for roots. No one sees them. Yet without them, the tree cannot stand. If a tree tried to grow tall before growing deep, it would fall with the first strong wind. Human growth works the same way. Before you become stronger on the outside, you must become stable on the inside. Silent growth teaches patience. It teaches trust. While you are waiting, your mind is learning. While you are resting, your heart is healing. While you feel stuck, your values are becoming clearer. These changes may not look impressive, but they are essential. They are building a foundation for the future version of you. When you constantly force action, you drown out this inner process. You stay busy to avoid feeling. You stay productive to avoid reflecting. But growth is not only about doing more. It is also about becoming more aware. Silence creates space for this awareness. In silence, you start noticing patterns. You see what drains you and what nourishes you. You understand yourself better. Many people quit during silent seasons because they think nothing is happening. They compare themselves to others who seem to be moving faster. They forget that every journey is different. Some people grow quickly and fall quickly. Others grow slowly and stand strong for life. Trust the unseen work. Trust that not everything valuable announces itself immediately. Trust that just because you cannot measure your progress does not mean it is not real. Healing often looks like rest. Learning often looks like confusion. Growth often looks like nothing at all, until one day you realize how far you have come. Silence is not emptiness. It is preparation. It is where clarity is formed and strength is built. When you respect silent growth, you stop panicking. You stop forcing. You allow life to unfold with patience and wisdom. One day, the change will be visible. One day, people will notice your calm, your confidence, your balance. They will call it success. But you will know the truth. You will know that it started in silence. And that is why you must trust the unseen work. Because the strongest growth always begins where no one is looking. Rule 7. You are allowed to change direction. Just because you started something does not mean you must suffer forever. Life is not about punishing yourself for past choices. It is not about holding on to mistakes or situations that no longer fit who you are. Many people believe that starting a path is a promise to endure, no matter the cost. They feel trapped, as if turning back or choosing a new direction is failure. But life is not a prison. It is a journey, and every journey allows for course corrections. Changing direction does not mean you are weak. It does not mean you wasted your time. Every step you took taught you something important. Every choice, even the wrong one, built the foundation for who you are now. Experience is never wasted. The lessons you learned, the strength you gained, and the wisdom you earned remain with you, ready to guide your next step. Many people force themselves to stay in a life that no longer fits. They cling to jobs that drain them, relationships that hurt them, or dreams that no longer excite them. They call it loyalty. They call it commitment. But often, it is fear in disguise. Fear of the unknown. Fear of starting over. Fear of disappointing others, or even themselves. This fear keeps people trapped in cycles of suffering, unable to move forward. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to outgrow old dreams. You are allowed to recognize that what once inspired you may no longer serve you. Changing direction does not erase your past. It honors it. It says, I am learning, I am growing, I am becoming. Real courage is not about suffering silently for the sake of appearances. Real courage is about listening to your inner truth, even if it means taking a different path. Sometimes, the fear of change is louder than the desire to grow. That is normal. But growth requires action. You may feel nervous, uncertain, or even guilty. You may worry about what others will think. You may even fear that you are betraying yourself or others. These feelings are part of change. They are not a signal to stop. They are proof that you are moving forward. Changing direction can be small or large. It can mean leaving a toxic relationship, changing a career, or simply deciding to take life at a different pace. It can mean stopping a habit that no longer serves you. It can mean choosing to heal before chasing success. Every choice to realign with your true self is a change in direction. And each one brings you closer to a life that fits you. Do not mistake discomfort for failure. The path of growth is rarely comfortable. It requires courage, honesty, and patience. But discomfort does not mean you are doing something wrong. It means you are breaking old patterns. You are shedding what no longer fits. You are creating room for what truly belongs to your life. Look around you. Nature is constantly changing direction. Rivers shift their course when necessary. Trees bend toward the sun. Seasons turn, and yet life continues. Human growth is no different. You are allowed to turn. You are allowed to bend. You are allowed to follow where life is truly leading you. Remember, life is a journey, not a prison. You do not owe your happiness to anyone else. You do not owe your suffering to tradition, pride, or fear. You owe yourself the freedom to choose again. And when you allow yourself that freedom, you feel lighter, stronger, and more alive. You stop forcing yourself into roles and paths that no longer belong to you. You begin walking with intention, clarity, and peace. Changing direction is not failure. It is evolution. It is courage. It is wisdom. and it is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself in life. Rule 8. What is meant for you will meet you halfway. Life has a way of testing us. It asks us to try, to work, to show up. But it is important to remember, effort is necessary, yes, but destruction is not. You still need effort. You still need consistency. You still need discipline. Growth, success, and meaningful achievements do not come without work. But there is a difference between honest effort and self-destruction. The right opportunities respond to honest effort. They do not demand your soul as payment. Many people force themselves to extreme limits. They work day and night. They sacrifice health, sleep, and peace. They push until their body and mind scream for relief. They believe that the harder they push, the more they deserve. But forcing beyond your limits does not create real success. It only creates exhaustion, stress, and doubt. When you destroy yourself in the process, even the achievement feels empty. You may reach your goal, but you lose your joy along the way. The truth is, what is meant for you will meet you halfway. Life does not require total destruction to bring opportunity. When you pursue something that aligns with your purpose, effort feels meaningful rather than exhausting. You wake up motivated. You feel challenged, but not broken. You feel stretched, but not defeated. There is a balance between effort and flow, between striving and surrender. This balance is a signal that you are on the right path. When something is meant for you, it does not demand constant panic, worry, or fear. It does not drain you every day. It may require learning, discipline, and patience, but it will never feel like punishment. Effort becomes a tool for growth, not a burden on your spirit. You can give your best without giving your peace. You can pursue goals without losing yourself in the process. Consistency matters. Showing up matters. Effort matters. But forcing yourself to survive in something that is not aligned with you is a form of self-harm. It creates stress, frustration, and doubt. It teaches you to ignore your instincts and devalue your own needs. And in the end, you may achieve what you wanted, but you will wonder if it was worth it. When something is truly meant for you, the work feels purposeful. It feels like a conversation with life, rather than a battle against it. Challenges come, but you feel capable. Obstacles appear, but you find solutions naturally. People and opportunities appear, but they do not drain your energy, they support it. You are meeting life halfway, and life meets you back. Trust this principle. Work hard, show up consistently, and give your effort honestly. But pay attention to how it feels. If effort constantly feels like force, if success requires sacrificing your soul, then it may not be meant for you. Let go of the exhausting path. Shift your focus to what resonates with your purpose. Align with what allows you to grow without losing yourself. Life is not about destroying yourself for dreams. Life is about moving toward opportunities that nourish, challenge, and inspire you. When you find the right path, your work feels meaningful. It energizes you, it stretches you, it grows you, and most importantly, it meets you halfway. Remember this, you can still work hard, persist, and aim high, but you do not need to destroy yourself to achieve. What is truly meant for you will recognize your effort. It will respond to your consistency. It will meet you halfway, and it will reward you with peace, confidence, and fulfillment along the way. Rule 9. Peace is a sign. You are on the right path. Excitement can lie. Pressure can lie. Fear can lie. Life is full of illusions. Sometimes what feels urgent, thrilling, or important is not actually aligned with your growth or purpose. You may feel excitement chasing a goal that slowly drains you. You may feel pressure to keep up with someone else's path. You may feel fear pushing you to act, but these feelings are not always truth. There is only one thing that never lies: peace. Peace is the sign that you are on the right path. When you feel calm, even while working hard, you are aligned. Hard work does not always feel easy, but it should not feel like constant stress or dread. You should feel capable, motivated, and aware, even in the challenges. If your efforts consistently leave you drained, anxious, and tense, something is off. Your mind, body, and heart are telling you the truth, even if your ego ignores it. Peace is the quiet voice that says, "This is right. Keep going, but keep yourself too." Many people mistake anxiety for ambition. They believe that constant tension is a necessary part of success. They think pressure proves they are on the right path. But pressure can be a warning sign. Pressure can be a signal that you are chasing someone else's goals, living someone else's expectations, or forcing something that is not aligned with your true self. Fear can push you forward, but it can also mislead you. Excitement can blind you, making you believe a path is good simply because it is thrilling. Only peace can confirm alignment. Peace is not always quiet or easy. Sometimes it is subtle. It is not about avoiding challenges. It is about feeling steady inside while facing them. It is about knowing that your actions, decisions, and efforts are in harmony with your values. You may work long hours, face obstacles, or endure difficulties. But if you feel calm, confident, and connected to yourself, you are on the right path. When you pay attention to peace, your choices become clearer. You begin to notice which relationships, jobs, or projects energize you and which ones drain you. You begin to see that success is not about constant struggle, but about meaningful progress. You begin to understand that alignment with your values is more important than external approval or validation. Peace becomes a compass, pointing you toward what truly belongs in your life. If you are constantly anxious or tense, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Is this path really mine? Am I forcing something to work? These questions are not signs of weakness. They are signs of awareness. They help you correct your direction before exhaustion or frustration takes over. Listening to peace is not passive. It is active wisdom. Peace also allows growth without suffering. When you feel calm, your mind is clearer. Your decisions are better. Your relationships are healthier. Your work becomes more meaningful. You are able to give your best without losing yourself in the process. This is the ultimate sign that your path is aligned. Remember, excitement can lie. Pressure can lie. Fear can lie. Only peace never lies. It is a signal from within that you are moving in the right direction. Follow peace, not panic. Follow calm, not chaos. Align your life with what feels steady and right inside. When you do, everything else, effort, consistency, growth, falls into place naturally. Rule 10. Trust timing more than control. One of the hardest lessons in life is accepting that you cannot control everything. We are taught to plan, to push, to do more, and to make things happen. But control is limited. You can do your part. You can show up, work hard, and remain consistent. But the timing of life is not entirely in your hands, and this is not a failure. It is a relief. It is freedom. It is a reminder that you do not have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Life unfolds in seasons. Some seasons are meant for action. You work, you move, you build. Other seasons are meant for patience. You wait, you observe, you reflect. And still other seasons are meant for healing. You rest, you recover, you grow quietly. Each season has its purpose. Each season teaches something that cannot be rushed. If you try to force a season to change, you miss the lesson it is meant to teach. Many people feel frustrated when life does not move according to their plans. They force opportunities. They push relationships. They chase goals. They act as if rushing will bring results faster. But forcing a season only creates tension, confusion, and exhaustion. You may reach something, but it often comes at the cost of your peace and clarity. When you try to control everything, you miss the beauty of life unfolding naturally. Trust in timing. Trust that the right moment will arrive. Trust that effort combined with patience produces results far stronger than effort alone. Think of a seed planted in the soil. You cannot force it to grow overnight. You cannot rush the sunlight or the rain. You water it, you care for it, you protect it, and eventually, it grows in its own time. Life works the same way. You do your part. You stay consistent. You show up. And then you allow time to do its work. Some seasons feel slow, quiet, or even uncomfortable. You may feel restless. You may feel like nothing is happening. But rest assured, these moments are not wasted. They are shaping you. They are preparing you. They are giving you strength, wisdom, and clarity so that when the right time comes, you are ready. Rushing these seasons would mean losing their full benefit. Trusting timing does not mean doing nothing. It means doing what you can without forcing what you cannot control. It means learning to recognize the difference between effort and pushing, between patience and stagnation. It means understanding that the universe has its own rhythm and that your life is most successful when you align with it instead of resisting it. When you trust timing more than control, life feels lighter. You stop struggling against invisible currents. You stop feeling frustrated at delays. You begin to notice the small signs, the gentle opportunities, and the moments that guide you naturally. You feel the flow, not the fight. You understand that timing is part of your growth, not an obstacle to it. Remember, some seasons are for action, some for patience, and some for healing. If you force a season to change, you miss its lesson. If you trust timing, you gain understanding, peace, and alignment. Life is not about controlling every moment. It is about learning when to act, when to wait, and when to heal. Trust timing. Show up for life. Do your part. And let the seasons unfold naturally. When you do, you will discover that life moves with you, not against you, and that the results you desire come when the time is truly right. Final message. Don't force anything. Let me say this slowly so it sinks in. You do not need to force your life. You do not need to rush your healing. You do not need to pressure your becoming. So much of life feels urgent, as if you are behind, as if every moment is a test you cannot fail. But the truth is, your pace is your own. You're allowed to move gently, to rest when needed, and to follow the rhythm that life naturally sets for you. What is meant for you will not pass you by. The right people, opportunities, and experiences will find you even if you take your time. And what is not meant for you will only exhaust you. It will drain your energy, cloud your mind, and steal your peace. Holding on to the wrong things does not make you strong. It makes you tired. Letting go is not failure. It is wisdom. It is courage. And it is the beginning of something lighter. Hi everyone, this is English Achieve, and I want you to take a moment to breathe deeply right now. Inhale. Exhale. Feel that space around you. You are not late. You are not weak. You are learning, step by step, when to move forward and when to allow life to move for you. You are learning the art of alignment, patience, and trust. Every pause, every choice, every breath is teaching you something valuable. Thank you for staying until the end of this message. Remember this: don't force anything. Trust the flow. Trust your journey. Trust the timing. When you live in harmony with yourself, every step becomes lighter, every choice becomes clearer, and every season of life reveals its meaning. Peace is not a reward. It is the path itself.